And I tell Jerry and Vinny, do me a favor, wait for me at the bar. I said, because you guys can't attend this meeting. So we go in the back, and I see this guy sitting there. He was an old timer, kind of a heavy-set guy. He had one of his guys sitting next to him. And my friend introduces me. He says, Michael, this is Amigo Nostro Mario. He's a captain with the Genovese family. I say, Mario, how you doing? We sit down. I says, Mario, what could I do for you? He looks at me and he says, you got some Jew around you named Jerry Zimmerman? I said, yeah, Jerry's with me. He looks at me, he leans over the table, he smashes down his fist and he said, I want him dead. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Sit Down with Michael Franzese, and I am your host, Michael Franzese. For those of you that tuned in to Mob Movie Monday yesterday, you saw me review a few scenes from the movie Gotti, the HBO movie Gotti that was released in 1996, I believe. And a couple of great scenes. One of them was a very high-stakes sit-down. And people, I got to tell you, the sit-down is as much of a part of La Cosa Nostra vernacular as is the word forget about it. Everybody loves to hear that, forget about it. Everything was decided in a sit-down. Where are we going to eat tonight? Oh, we got to sit down. We're going to put this guy in a hospital? We got to sit down. Who you betting on the game tonight? We got to sit down. Everything was a sit down. And of course, some very, very important issues were always resolved in a sit down. So yesterday, again, we spoke of a very, very high stakes sit down where John Gotti had actually took the life of another made guy. Not supposed to do that, principal violation of a rule, but it brought to mind a situation that I had at one time. It was a very, very high stakes sit down, which I'm going to go through today. And remember, people, every one of these stories that I relay, there's a moral to the story. I'm not just here to tell war stories. So let me tell you what happened. Back in the day, I had a number of dealerships. I had a couple of used car dealerships. I had a Mazda dealership, and I had a Chevrolet dealership. This was in the late 70s. And my Mazda dealership was in Hempstead, Long Island. I had an office that was second floor office, and it overlooked all of the car lot that we had out there. And I had a guy working for me at the time, Jewish guy, very close to me. His name was Jerry Zimmerman. And Jerry was big guy, 6'4", best salesman in the world. You come into our car dealership, you're not leaving without buying a car, or Jerry's fleecing you for some money, something like that. But he was a terrific salesman. Just happened to be this one day, I'm in the office and I hear kind of a disturbance out in the lot. I look outside and there's Jerry, very animated. He's talking to somebody. It was a heated discussion and I don't know what was going on. The guy looked a little upset. Jerry's waving his arms back and forth, so on and so forth. Lasted for a while. After a while, I knew Jerry. I didn't pay any attention. I went back to work. About 20 minutes later, Jerry comes up to the office, and I said, Jerry, what was that all about? He said, some guy, he wanted his money back. He says we sold him a lemon. He wanted his money back. Pain in the ass, chief. Don't worry about it. I said, well, who was he? He said, he's nobody, but I got really upset. He said to me, he started mentioning names of some guys he was connected to in New York. And I said, well, whose name did he mention? He said, this guy Mario something or other. And I said, what did you say, Jerry? I said, the hell with you and Mario and everybody else you know. And I said, Jerry, I told you don't talk like that. Here, everybody knows somebody. This is New York. You got 5 families, you got guys all over the place. I said, don't be disrespectful like that. You never know who somebody knows. He said, he doesn't know anybody. He's just some Maki Jew. He was a Jew, calling another guy a Maki Jew. I said, well, Jerry, you're a Jew. You know somebody, don't you? He said, Chief, trust me, this guy don't know anybody. I said, okay, we forget about it, right? Next day, another soldier in the family calls me up. And he says, Mike, I got to see you. He said, do you mind taking a ride into Brooklyn? It's important. I said, yeah, no problem. So Jerry just happened to be there, and his friend of mine, Vinny, another guy, Vinny the Butcher, big guy. And I said, do me a favor, I got to go into Brooklyn, drive me in. So they tell me to meet him on 18th Avenue. There was a place there called the 19th Hole. Christy Tick, who was a captain in another family, that was his place, his hangout. So he says, meet me at the 19th Hole. I said, okay. So we drive in, we pull up to the 19th hole, and the guy greets me and he says, Mike, there's somebody here who wants to meet you. He's a friend of ours, and I got to introduce you to him. Now, you may not know this in this life, people, but if you're a made guy and there's another guy that's a made guy, but you never formally met him as a made guy, you can't just go up to him and say, hey, how you doing? I'm made with the Colombos, so on and so forth. Somebody who knows you both, another made guy, has to introduce you both. And they go, Michael, you know, this is a friend of ours, or Amiga Nostra, so-and-so. And that's how you formally meet. And this way, you know, you can talk, you know, our business together. So I said, well, who is this guy? He says, his name is Mario. He's a captain with the Genovese family. I said, okay. So we went into this Chinese restaurant that was next to the 19th hole. We go into the back room, and I tell Jerry and Vinny, do me a favor, wait for me at the bar. I said, because you guys can't attend this meeting. So we go in the back, and I see this guy sitting there. He was an old-timer, kind of heavy-set guy. He had one of his guys sitting next to him. And my friend introduces me. He says, Michael, this is Amiga Nostra Mario. He's a captain with the Genovese family. I say, Mario, how you doing? We sit down. I says, Mario, what could I do for you? He looks at me and he says, you got some Jew around you named Jerry Zimmerman? I said, yeah, Jerry's with me. He looks at me, he leans over the table, he smashes down his fist, and he said, I want him dead. Now I'm thinking a minute, it's clicking. Oh, Jerry Zimmerman, Mario, the argument they had in the yard. I'm starting to listen for a minute. I says, Mario, do me a favor. I says, I had a long ride in from Long Island. Let me use the restroom. I'll be right back. So I go out, and I see Jerry at the bar, and I said, Jerry, Mario's in the back, and he's not happy. I said, get out of here right away. Go wait for me down the street. I'll meet you afterwards. I'll tell you why. If they would have known Jerry was out there and Mario wanted him to sit in at the table and I didn't have a chance to school him, if he would have said the wrong thing, I couldn't help him. You could never, ever, ever, you know, give a made guy wrong over the guy that you're sitting with if he wasn't a made guy. So if he would have said something out of the way, I wouldn't have been able to help him. He would have been in trouble. So I made him get out of there so they couldn't put him down at the table. So now I go back and I says, Mario, what's the problem? And he tells me, he says, look, your guy was very, very disrespectful to my brother-in-law. He said, my brother-in-law brought his car in. It wasn't a bad car. He started cursing out my brother-in-law. He cursed me out. He says, and for that, I want him dead. Who is he to do that? Now, I got to tell you something. I got a problem here because this is an old-timer. I was a younger guy. The old-timers kind of resented the younger guys a little bit. I understand that. Figure, you know, we haven't really, been around long enough to be sitting down with them. But those are the rules. We're all on equal ground when we're in that life. So he says to me, and I want him dead. He said, that's it. No negotiation here. I says, Mario, I says, first of all, I got to tell you something. I said, I heard the whole argument. I was up in my office on the second floor. The window was open, and I listened to everything. I said, Jerry never cursed at your brother-in-law, and he never said anything out of the way. Now, I'll be honest with you people, I had to lie through my teeth. Because if I agreed and I admitted it, Jerry was in trouble because he was disrespectful to his brother-in-law, and he said the wrong words, F you, whatever he said about another made guy. You don't get away with that kind of stuff. So he said, well, listen, my brother-in-law don't lie. He said, he told me this is what happened. I said, well, you calling me a liar, Mario? I heard the whole thing. I don't care what your brother-in-law told you. He's 100% wrong. I said, Jerry never said that. He said, well, I know my brother-in-law's around me 20 years. I said, well, Jerry's around me 20 years. Another lie. But I had a lie. Got to save my guy, right? I can't throw him to the wolves. So we're going back and forth, and this is lasting like 15, 20 minutes, a half an hour. This guy don't want to give in. Finally, he says to me, okay, fine. He says, I'm not going to kill him. I want to put him in a hospital. I says, if you put him in a hospital, I got to put your brother-in-law in a hospital. I said, what are we gaining here? I said, whatever you do to my guy, I got to do to yours. I said, that's how it goes. I said, we're not getting anywhere. Back and forth, back and forth. Finally, I knew I wasn't going to get anywhere with this guy. He was not giving in. So I said, Mario, wait. I says, let me do this. I said, I know you feel a little bit insulted, a little bit slighted in front of your brother-in-law. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to give your brother-in-law a new car. New car. It's on me. I'll take the old one back. I said, whatever the difference is in price, I'll give him a new car. How's that? That satisfy you? You'd be happy with that? Tell your brother-in-law you won the argument. You got satisfaction. That's it. Don't worry about it. He looks at me. He says, no, I'm not satisfied. I said, Mario, a new car? I said, look, if we don't resolve this here, there's not going to be a resolution. We're going to take it upstairs. You're going to get your boss, I'll get mine, and we'll sit down. We got to go all the way with this because you're not going to hurt my guy. I said, that's it. So if I were you, I'm making a suggestion. I respect you. I give you all the respect. If my guy said something wrong, I said, I didn't hear it, but believe me, I'll give him a tongue lashing afterwards. I'll make sure you got satisfaction. Tell your brother-in-law you won. You're giving him a brand new car. What are you going to complain about? Finally, we resolve it. He's okay. We get in the car, and believe me, I get to leave, and I give Jerry a tongue lashing. But this guy was so serious this whole time. I said, you know what? I said, if something happens here, Jerry might be walking down the street. They may track this guy. A safe falls on his head. A car hits him out of nowhere. I says, I don't know. I said, Jerry, I'll tell you what you got to do. I said, this guy was very upset and very serious. He's an old timer, one of those guys. I said, you got a brother out in California. You need to go out there for a while. I said, go out, cool off, wait a couple of months. Let me make sure everything is all right here, because this was a very, very intense argument. So that's what happened. Jerry goes out to California. There's another whole story about Jerry going into California. I'm gonna continue that maybe next week or maybe at another time. Whole story in sending Jerry. It opened up a whole new area of my life. But anyway, that was that. So that's a high stakes sit down. I mean, this is what we got involved in. And this guy, come on. I mean, you know, Mario you would have thought we had a nuclear explosion or something. He made this so serious out of a little sign of disrespect that wasn't even directly at him, but was with his brother-in-law. But anyway, we resolved it. So what's the moral of this? I think you heard me that I had to lie through my teeth. I had to lie because he could never call me a liar. But I had to stand up for Jerry, so I lied. But why did I lie? I lied to help him. Now, I want to tell you something, people. I'm a Christian. I know we're not supposed to lie, but let me ask you a question. Do you think it's all right to lie if you're helping somebody? I remember my dad telling me, he says, Michael, I'm not a liar, but if I got to lie to help somebody, I'm going to do it all the time. And, you know, sometimes now I may get beat up for this a little bit because some people out there say, no, you never lie. You always tell the truth. You never lie. Well, I don't know about that. Let me ask you a question. Guys, if your wife labors over the stove for 3 hours and she makes you a meal and it comes to the table and you eat it and it ain't that good, are you going to tell your wife this don't taste good? Or are you going to say, hey, honey, this is great. I love it. Good job. Because, you know, she's there for 3 hours. If she happens to come downstairs wearing a dress that she loves, she went out and bought it, she got all her makeup on, you're going out to dinner, she feels great, pretty, what are you going to say to her? Go up and change her dress? I don't like it? You're not going to be married too long. You do stuff like that, or it's not going to be a good evening for you. No. So my point is, okay, tell the truth whenever you can, but if you have to lie to help somebody, think about it. I know if I had to lie to protect one of my kids, and I can give them a good lesson out of it and tell them, look, I'm your father, I'm here to protect you, but you still did the wrong thing and don't let it happen again, I think that's okay. And if you disagree with me, I'd like to hear about it. So, send me a note, send me a comment, a message. By the way, I'm getting a lot of great comments on these YouTube videos that we're doing. Got a lot of great comments yesterday. Just keep them going. For those of you that haven't subscribed, I'm asking you to subscribe. You're going to get a lot of great content. You'll be alerted when it comes through. For those of you that have joined my crew, my community, keep it up, man. The community is really building, and I'm looking in and seeing the comments that you people are sharing among each other. Great, so encouraging. MichaelFranzese.com. If you haven't become part of the crew yet, please do so. And there's another level of that where you can, have personal access to me. There is a fee involved in that. There's no fee for becoming a member of the crew. But if you have that little personal access, there is a fee there. That's optional. It's up to you. If you think I can be of help to you and maybe help you in leadership, help you with some advice, encouragement, business, whatever it might be, life skills, I'm your man. Anyway, another great session. God bless all of you. We will see you the next time.